If you're poly, how do you meet people? What are some good places to look and some of the things to look for when we're looking? As we change our lives, we have to change the way we think and what we do. Welcome to Non-Mainstream. I'm Morgan Jones. Thank you for tuning in. It's going to get deep. Please remember to like and subscribe and comments and follow me and stuff. I'd like to get your feedback. What are some of the biggest challenges that you run into when you're trying to meet people? What are the ways you get around those? What kind of inventive ways have you come up with? And what are some of the challenges that you're facing? So join the conversation down below. Thank you. When you change your life, you have to change how you think to adapt to your new way of living. Everything needs to be as intentional as possible without squelching the potential for organic situations. The adventure of meeting people is like when you date Signal or Mono World, except there are all kinds of rules and pressures you may be putting on your potential partner without letting them know ahead of time. This is important. That there are a lot more moving parts and people's feelings to take into account. And you need to go as slow as the partner who is moving the slowest common denominator. How to approach it really depends on how you're looking for it. Meeting people to hang out with and see where things go organically without a wish list will lead to a much higher success rate. Just like looking for new partners to introduce to your life is much easier to find a fit for one person versus two. I'm not going to pass judgment on people looking to add that one person that will make both the people in the couple that it's pretty hard. Think about how hard it was to find the person you're currently with. Now multiply that difficulty exponentially because you have a much smaller population to pull from. I understand that some people just really need that other to make their ideal throuple, and they will need to be complete to move forward, to be into their lives as a force to be reckoned with, and it's statistics. So to start, what do you want to find? That's the best place to start. Do you want to make a shopping list that needs to have everything checked out and all the details exact? Or are you looking to be open to experience and find new things that you can enjoy that you didn't know you'd like and expand your life? It depends on you. Neither are better methods, neither are better mentalities. It depends on what's the best fit for you. Why are you exploring poly? What do you need that you aren't getting? What do you want that you aren't getting? This is what poly is for fulfilling. It's unfair to expect one person to be the all for another person. That's way overwhelming and really kind of selfish. Are you looking to do things that are solo even though you're looking to date a couple? Are you looking for something for someone to do things with, like scrapbook or hiking? What do you want to do? That changes how you look for people. Are you only looking for people to be involved with everyone at the same time emotionally, at the exact same emotional level, at the exact same physical level? Are you wanting it to potentially develop into an intimate relationship where there's physical intimacy? Are you only wanting emotional intimacy? Are you just looking for somebody that likes jalapeno burgers? It depends. It's dating. No matter how many people are involved, it takes the form and shape you allow it to be. So after you start deciding what shape you want things to potentially fall into, if you have partners, now you need to decide together how to approach it. Are you going to date only singles? Alone? Together? Are you only going to date couples that match you both? Or are you just looking for friends? Finding one person that will match up with two is really hard. Finding two that match up with two is an even statistically smaller pool to pull from. You're cutting down your odds. I'm not saying that dating couples is a bad thing. I'm just saying that there can be problems running into compatibility. And partners don't always move at the same pace. You need to be prepared for that. Everything has its bonus and its fallback. The thing to remember is that people have their own minds and change their minds. Individuals in a couple can change how they feel about one or other of you in your couple or their own couple on a daily basis almost. That's a warning sign. But it will change everything for everyone. And when it's all interrelated, it's dependent. And you have to make accounts for that, and you have to be prepared to work through that as a group if you can. I don't want to discourage you. Things can be easier socially to date as a couple dating a couple, i.e. double dates. Unless people look closely or stare for a while, and they were going to anyway, no one can tell who's with who, and that this is the first time you've kissed somebody other than your wife in 20 years. Nobody can tell. There's slightly more to look at and attention draw when one person is turning back and forth from kissing one to the next. It happens, but honestly, unless you run into your coworkers, family, or friends, there's nothing noticeable about someone kissing someone else if you're not doing anything to draw attention to yourself, as this is something specific other people should watch. PDA is PDA, but you're never going to see him again. What does it matter? I want to be clear. 95% of first-time poly experiences are a bust for one reason or the other. Either due to circumstances, someone not being ready or still learning communication skills, or they're feeling coerced into being poly. Also, 75% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Seriously, I don't know the percentage. I do know that few people's first foray into dating, single or poly, are lifetime successful. Honestly, success is how you define it. Not everyone is ready to be poly or is checking out poly for a genuine reason and a relationship they are not okay with, and it's not for them. So the issue isn't poly. The issue is the people trying to do the poly. Remember that. I personally have had many successful long-term, simultaneous, as in 6 years or longer, running together at the same time poly relationships. They've all been within the last 20 years. I've been dating since I was 15, poly. That's over 35 years. So in the last 20, I've managed to figure out how to do this right. But we won't go into my own growth opportunities or my cyclical choices over the years and some of the past relationship cringe I have, nor the emotional work I did to be able to break those loops. But I did. And I'm really freaking happy I have. Keep an eye on my blog for potentially down the road. I might go into those things, but right now I don't plan on making a video about any of it. We kind of know what you want. How do you go about finding it? Well, you can go to the internet and join Facebook groups and register on Loving More, OkCupid, Tinder, Grindr, FetLife, a few others. Communicate honestly in your profile what you are looking for and what you're doing. It's super duper important that you are honest and everybody is educated and aware of the situation as they enter it. When you're going through people's profiles and you find somebody you want to message them very politely. Politely. If and when you're more comfortable meeting people in person, local meetups are amazing. Meetup.com has a ton of listings for local gatherings. Most are sign up and show up, and that's all it takes. Go to sloshes, go to conferences. Come to Libertine, August 30th to September 2nd. It's just south of Bloomington, Indiana. It's going to be a weekend, over Labor Day weekend. It's going to be full of poly classes and kink and BDSM classes and sacred sexuality and hedonism, and lots of people just like you just coming out to learn and explore and have a lot of fun. There's going to be fires and dancing and a lot of fun. It's camping. So come out and see us. It's going to be an amazing time. I have met a majority of my partners through friends of friends. I've met folks at parties, events, just hanging out at friends' houses. I don't have specific things I look for, but rather I'm open about who I am and what my lifestyle is. And the people that are interested generally kind of introduce themselves to me and we connect that way. Now I'm going to address a touchy subject. Men dating a solo poly tend to be met with more resistance and suspicion. In general, men are viewed as more predatory. This means that men need to make an effort to not be dicks. The following applies to men and women. This all actually applies to men and women, but I'm just couching it. Don't be demanding. Don't be pushy. If you are going to cause more issues down the road with the situation, and the pushy you are, the more problems it causes in the other relationship that was already established. So it's one of those things to be aware of. Next, never send unsolicited dick or pussy pics. They should only be sent on request and only at times that are specified as being okay. This applies to all genders. Don't send unsolicited pics, period. They cause issues. It can cause alarm in partners that are slow to acclimate to changes, especially if they're more in the modest and conservative side of things. And it violates the slowest common denominator rule because you don't know what the actual situation is. Simply put, it will cause those insecurities that were all built up from all the other relationships to flare up like a giant fucking supernova, and all the effort that you've gone into and your partner's gone into and everybody else in the relationship has gone into fertilizing this growth inside of everything turns it right back into actual shit. Seriously, these tips are the same for single dating as well as non-monogamous dating, and because apparently a lot of people lose their frickin' minds whenever it comes to throwing up the decorative feathers and doing a dance. I would warn you that you need to be respectful. You notice a trend here. Just because you have a partner and you think they are the hottest shit on this planet, that doesn't mean you can speak rudely or disrespectfully to anyone. The reason there are restrictions about contacting people, especially women without invitation, on polygroups and Facebook and other platforms, is because people are pushy, rude, and predatory. There's this piranha effect that happens when somebody new comes along, and everybody kind of swarms on them with the excitement of the possibility to investigate this person if there's compatibility because you said the keyword poly. So we might have something in common where we can connect. This is not a bad thing. This is a normal reaction. However, the added excitement of potential connections in a lifestyle, when it's so terrifying to make any connections without previously discussed commonality, is overwhelming to a lot of people. I truly get it. However, stop and think about the fact that people that are brand new to poly are generally tend to be fairly skittish. They've got a lot of stuff in their back of their heads that they're fighting against. And do you really want their being shark chum to be their first poly exposure? Oh, poly is about people that swarm you and everybody, it's overwhelming. I don't want to have it. Don't do that to people. It's not fair. Give them a chance. Say hi and let me invite people to reach out to you if they want to, but don't do it in a sleazy way. Don't make a polite compliment, not, damn, those are some hot lips. Give me a DM, would you? No, please, no. Okay, sorry. Rule of thumb, treat other humans with respect. Do not treat them as sex objects unless they have specifically, preferably in writing, requested to be objectified. Let me repeat that. Do not treat them as sex objects unless they have specifically, preferably in writing, asked to be objectified. Unless it's specifically spelled out on their profile or their account or something that they want you to address them in a specific way, don't call them anything that's not their name. Don't be overfamiliar. Don't try to assume an air of superiority, inferiority, anything. Don't call them baby. Don't call them babe. Don't call them slut, whore, daddy. Don't call them anything that's not their name without them specifically asking you to. A person on FetLife who says that they're a baby girl does not automatically want to be called a baby girl by someone they've never met. There's a thing, and if you don't know that, then you don't actually understand why they want to be called baby girl, so you shouldn't do it anyway. Just saying. I always suggest going fairly slow if you can. I know a lot of people get pulled into a whirlwind and go way too fast, and then everyone gets scared, and that fear generated, everyone gets scared. And that fear that was generated kills the momentum and all the security that your partners had. At this point, you need to be communicating a lot to everyone. You need to make sure you are as transparent as possible. And by being transparent, you are showing your partner what is going on and what will lead to trust, and reassure them in a situation where all socially programmed survival mechanisms are probably screaming at your partner that your relationship is collapsing because you're not being monogamous. So don't do things to scare the shit out of them. Be reassuring. Don't assume your partner knows anything, or more specifically, knows what you are thinking when you're doing anything. Do not expect anyone to be a mind reader. It's just a thing. This is a time of insecurity and all the potential baggage floating to the surface. There's no need to add to the chaos. It's extremely important to talk about those insecurities at this point. They won't go away. I'll address the first date in my next episode of this series, the things you may not think of and the things you need to think to make sure that you think about when you're taking that brave first new step. And some of the things you and your partner may not know that you need to prepare for and discuss about before that first date. Like if there's plans on there being physical intimacy, do you have more than one set of sheets? Is that important to you? These are things that need to be talked about. I fully believe that love is limitless. As love is limitless, it can't run out and isn't scarce. It's abundant. It's one of those changes in thinking that help when people are having jealousy issues with a situation. Poly doesn't mean that you will love the person immediately that you're dating. It means that you believe you can love multiple people at the same time, and you can have multiple honest, open, communicative relationships simultaneously. Finding those people you connect with will be hard sometimes. Sometimes it's going to be stupefyingly easy. The point is to enjoy and enrich your life. We need to be whole, healthy people for our partners, but it's a process. Working through what it is you're looking for and potentially putting a plan together is a good way to ensure things are as successful as possible. Life is manifested through intention. If you want to successfully add folks into your relationships, it's best to not leave things to chance. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day and enjoy living your best life. I'm Morgan Jones. Please remember to comment below and talk to me about the things that you've tried, the things that you want to try, the things that you don't know what's going to happen if you try, what happened when you tried things. I want to know. Let's have a conversation. Talk to me. I might be able to help. You might be able to help me. That's how this works. And like me, subscribe to me. I'll see you soon. Peace.